Yo, what's up, everybody? It's Ellie Connie here. I'll give people a minute to kind of join on this call because I have some really important stuff to share. I have some important, where I think it's important. I have important. If you're interested in growing your private practice, you think it's important too. So I'll give people a few minutes to kind of join in and listen to what we'll be talking about, because this is really cool. We're about 6 days away from me opening or sending out my free training on building a successful, thriving private practice, one in which that does not require you to take insurance. Of course, you can take insurance if you want, but I built my practice here where I'm sitting without taking insurance. I'm going to show you exactly how I did it. I'm not going to hold anything back. And in this video, I'm going to tell you, in this video right here, I'll speak in more detail, I suppose, in the training that I'm releasing next week. But right now, I'm going to tell you the missing link to building your successful practice. When we go into our psychotherapy training, when we go to learn to become psychotherapists, the number one goal is to develop the skill, the acumen of becoming an effective, accomplished psychotherapist, right? That's the whole reason we're there, and we're in graduate school to learn, the theoretical approaches, the techniques, strategies, interventions associated with research that are associated with the becoming a helping professional that can be confident and competent and those sorts of things. Like that's the important thing in psychotherapy. In psychotherapy learning is, building your skill to be an effective, competent, confident, helpful professional. So that's number one. Number two is you also have to learn to be an ethical, a licensed professional. So you have to learn enough information that will help you be good in the clinical room, and you have to learn enough information to help you acquire your clinical license. And those are really the two biggest functions of any graduate school learning to become a helping professional, a psychotherapist, psychologist, counselor, LMF, licensed marriage and family therapist, so on and so on. But the missing link, the missing ingredient to all of this is none of that matters unless you can market and get enough people to come into your practice you can utilize your skill, right? So the missing ingredient is marketing ability and business skills. And that's something that our graduate schools don't teach us, just simply, frankly, because they don't have enough time, and not everyone who's becoming a psychotherapist needs this skill. There's all kinds of wonderful jobs you can do when you get a degree in the license in the helping professions. You can work at a school, hospital, agency, university. The list is so huge that a lot of times the schools don't have the desire to devote to helping you become an effective marketer and a successful business person, an effective business person, because not everybody needs that skill, whereas everybody needs to know all of the other stuff. So that's part of the reason schools do this. But if you want to build a successful therapy practice, you're going to have to build your ability to market, and you're going to have to build your ability to kind of think like a business person, to understand that the moment you open a therapy practice, whether you're taking insurance or not, whether it's a big one or a small one or not, you are effectively a business person. And the quicker you can start thinking like a business person, the better. Now, this was a huge challenge for me. I am not someone who naturally thinks like a business person. When I opened my practice, I was not someone who was ready to take on the challenge and accept the idea that I was a business person. I just wanted to be an effective counselor. That was the only thing on my mind, is how do I be an effective counselor? But because I did a form of therapy, solution-focused brief therapy, that the agency I was working in at the time wasn't fully supportive, I had a real difficult choice. I can stay at this agency where they were very overtly letting me know that they were not happy with the way I was doing therapy, even though they were happy with my outcomes. That's a story for another day. Or I could go find a place where I could do the type of therapy that I was passionate about, that I was interested in, that I was devoted to. And the choice I made was to open my own practice and to just figure it out as I was going. And I'm here to tell you, I made every mistake imaginable. But the thing I got right, the two things I got right, I should say, is number one, I was prepared to work hard. Because just like any other major endeavor, what's that quote? If it was easy, everybody would do it. Just like every other endeavor, I wanted to be successful, so I was prepared to work very hard. And number two, I was persistent. You know, another quote that I love. I love to read, so as a consequence, I love quotes. And one of my favorite quotes is "Fall down 7 times, stand up 8." So every time I made a mistake and I faltered, I just committed to myself that I would get up and be better for it and be less likely to make that mistake as I was going forward. And it was hard. I mean, those years were very, very difficult. Lots of hard conversations with family members, lots of difficult conversations with my staff, lots of difficult conversations with my, eventually my CPA, lots of, hard realizations looking at my bank account and that sort of thing. But the more I figured it out, those things became amazing experiences. And now I'm at a place where I have built this practice. It thrived for a little less than a decade, a little less than 10 years, and almost every year has made multiple six figures. In fact, once it crossed that line, it never dropped below until recently when I decided I'm going to spend more of my time on the road teaching and writing books because that's my current passion. And I want to share it with you. I want to tell everybody how to do what I do so you don't have to make the mistakes that I make. You don't have to take insurance if you don't want to. You don't have to see 1,000 clients a week if you don't want to. And you can do this in an ethical, moral way just by building a practice effectively and marketing it appropriately and those sorts of things. And, marketing is just like every other skill. I was on a flight recently and I finally had a chance to read the book by Malcolm Gladwell called Outliers. And in the book, he talks about the 10,000 hour rule. Like any skill you want to master, you should do that skill for 10,000 hours and you'll get better at it. Well, marketing is a skill just like anything else. And I just was so interested in it because I was afraid of making a mistake that would lead to my practice closing. And so many of my friends and colleagues closed their practices that I actually studied it. I read about it. I paid attention to it. And every time I made a mistake, every time I faltered, I wanted to make sure that I was better for it. And I would just pay attention to marketing. And I've been at this now for 10 years. I can't even tell you how many hours I paid attention to this. And at some point in the past few, weeks, months, whatever it is, I became driven to share this with people because I don't want anybody to have to fall into the pitfalls I fell into, and I don't think anybody should have to close their practice. Almost everybody I know that closed their practice, they were doing little certain things that was leading to those failures. So the missing link to being able to be a successful practitioner in private practice is that education about business. And I don't know about you, but when I was in graduate school, I didn't have a chance to get an MBA on the side, right? I didn't have the time to get a master's degree in marketing. I didn't have the time to do that. So this training I'm about to release, just consider it like the missing link, the missing ingredient to the education, the traditional education you got in school. This is the thing. You're already good at working with clients. You picked a good college, university to ensure they would teach you that. You're already licensed. You're already credentialed in your field to be able to provide the service. Now let's talk about how to actually get people into your office so you can fulfill your calling to become a helpful professional. And again, I don't know about you. If those of you are watching, click like if this is you, but I came into this field. No one goes into the psychotherapy field to get rich. Like it's not a decision you make as an 18-year-old. Like when I grow up, I'm going to become a wealthy psychotherapist or anything like that. We come into this field because we have a calling. And like I said, if that was you, go ahead and click like. Like if you had a calling to get in this field, click like, because that was me. Like I had a calling to become a psychotherapist. I knew that was the role I wanted to fulfill when I was about 19 years old. And I knew that being a psychotherapist, I see all the likes coming through. So I see some of you, right? Like that was huge for me. It was so perfect. I just wanted to fulfill my calling. And I needed those three things. It's like a three-pronged stool. I have to have the information to make me a skilled professional. I have to have the credential to make me an ethical, licensed professional. But now I have to have a way to get people to come into my office. And there's all kind of ways to do that. You can go work in an agency where they'll do it for you. You can go work at a school where they'll take care of it for you. But if you were like me, those things were not options. And I had to figure out how to do it on my own. And that's what this is all about. I mean, that's really what this is all about. I'm not holding anything back. This is not some sort of trick. I'm literally just going to tell it to you. And all you have to do is sign up and you'll get it for free. And where to go to sign up? You go to buildyourcashbasedtherapypractice.com. Just go to buildyourcashbasedtherapypractice.com. I'll put the link in a post, and I'll pin it so it's at the top so everybody can see it. But go to buildyourcashbasedtherapypractice.com and sign up. And again, this consider this course kind of like the missing link. It's the third prong to your stool. And just like a stool, right? If you're sitting on a stool and someone removes one of the prongs, you only have two prongs, what happens to the stool? It falls down. And most of the people that I know that opened a practice that had to close it, they were skilled professionals, they were licensed, they were ethical professionals, they were strong professionals. They just didn't have that third prong to their stool. So let me provide that for you. And I've seen all kinds of people I really never wanted to share this stuff. I mean, when I was in practice, I A, didn't have the time, and B, I was afraid, like, I'm going to show people how to do this, and they're going to open an office across the street from me, and I'll be competing. And, I've grown a bit, so I'm now much less concerned with competition. I'm now interested in everybody having that feeling of security and satisfaction that came along with having a practice that I knew I could live off of and provide for my family and provide for my mother. And I remember one of the greatest days of my life. My mom is such an important person in my life. And, as I was building my practice first few months, I didn't have any money. It was really kind of a struggle. And about 4 or 5 months into my practice, and I was really turning the corner and was beginning to live off my practice in a way that was beyond my wildest dreams, and I still hadn't yet hit some of the accomplishments I was going to have. My mother called me, and she had something wrong with her car, multiple flat tires, a really big deal. And one of the most emotional days of my life was writing my mother the check so she can just go take care of her car. Now, I don't know if that might not mean anything to you guys, but coming from where I came from, I didn't grow up in a family with a ton of money. I didn't grow up in a family where you could just fix problems as they popped up. That was like the first time in my life that a problem arose. My mom had no idea she was going to fix it, and her son got to just write a check and take care of that for her. And I want more people to have experiences like that. So I'm not even interested in whether people are going to compete with me. Like that I don't care. I just want people to have this experience. And I wasn't interested necessarily in there are tons of people doing trainings like this, and before I decided I was going to release my process, I kind of looked some of them up, and I'll tell you what separates this one. The one that I'm doing, what separates from most of the other people. Number one is most of those people, if not all of them, they hadn't spent their career building and living off of a practice. And that's all I've done for the past decade. I mean, most of you know I write books, and most of you know I travel and give lectures about solution-focused brief therapy. What you don't know is during that whole time, I maintained a full therapy practice. So there were times, and I know you're going to roll your eyes and think I'm crazy, but my practice was so busy, there were times I would land at the airport, pick up my car, and drive to my office and see clients throughout the rest of the day. When I would be in one city for 1 week, I'd come back to my office and see clients the whole next week. And I loved it. Like it was like my heartbeat. I just loved building a practice where I could see people and fulfill my mission and purpose. And to be honest with you, this course I'm about to release, it's just another extension of that mission. It's another extension of that purpose. because I realize now I don't know that it was just my purpose to kind of help clients. I think it was my purpose just to be helpful. So that's why I share the things I do about solution focused brief therapy, and it's why I'm going to share this course with you. I just want to be helpful, and I want you guys to have a life you can be proud of, that values who you are as a professional, that values what you can be, and that gives you options so you don't have to work at a school or at a university or at an agency or take insurance if you don't want to. And that's what this course is all about. It's nothing more than the third leg in your stool that your graduate schools are not allowed to, or are not able to teach you, because they have to take care of the other two legs. This is the third leg of that stool, and I'm honored to share it with you. I'm excited to share it with you. And the first video comes out on Monday, so 6 days away. And the rest of the videos in the series will come out later that week. I'll give you about a day or two to digest each video, and then I'll release the third one. It's a 3-part series. And you know, I may have a coaching program after. We'll see. It depends on how it goes. I've never shared this before, so you know, I'm excited to let you guys see it. So that's what I want you to be thinking about. I want you to be thinking about like what is in this course, the third prong on that stool, so that you can fulfill your purpose, you can live out your mission, and you can be valued and be the professional that you were called to be. Because I know you didn't come into this field for any other reason other than you just felt a calling to do so. So I hope everybody's having a happy Tuesday, having a wonderful Valentine's Day. If you love someone, go love them. If you are with someone, go hold them. And I hope you guys are ready. So go to buildyourcashbasedtherapypractice.com, sign up, and the videos will be on their way shortly. So thank you for letting me spend a little bit of time with you today. Thank you for checking in on my video, and I can't wait to share this information with you, and I hope it changes your life in the way that this therapy practice changed mine.